The Mandela Effect. Why do we remember things wrong? Human memory is one of the most powerful tools we have, shaping our sense of identity and connecting us to the world around us. Yet memory is not perfect. It can shift, blur, and even deceive us. Few phenomena capture this strange side of memory better than what has come to be known as the Mandela Effect. It is the curious situation where large groups of people remember something a certain way, only to discover that their memories do not match reality. From famous movie lines to historical events, the Mandela Effect challenges our confidence in what we think we know and sparks debates about psychology, culture, and even the nature of reality itself. The term Mandela Effect was coined in 2009 by Fiona Broome, a writer and researcher who attended a conference and realized that many people, including herself, shared the same false memory. They all remembered Nelson Mandela, the anti-apartheid leader from South Africa, dying in prison during the 1980s. In reality, Mandela was released in 1990 and went on to become president of South Africa in 1994. He lived until 2013. The shock of discovering that so many people recalled his death decades too early gave birth to the name of the phenomenon, the Mandela Effect. Since then, countless other examples have emerged, many tied to pop culture. Perhaps the most famous is a line from the film Star Wars. The Empire Strikes Back. Many fans remember Darth Vader saying, "Luke, I am your father." Yet the actual line is simply, "No, I am your father." The difference is small but striking, and millions of people swear they recall it the other way. Another example comes from the children's book series The Berenstain Bears. Many remember it being spelled Berenstein, with an E, not A. This small detail has led to endless debates online about whether entire groups of people somehow misremembered the same thing. Logos and brand names also fuel the Mandela Effect. For instance, many people recall the Monopoly man wearing a monocle, yet he never has. Some remember the candy Kit Kat with a dash between the words, but the dash never existed. Even simple details such as whether the fruit in the Fruit of the Loom logo was displayed inside a cornucopia or not have triggered heated discussions. The truth! No cornucopia ever appeared. These false memories seem trivial, but they reveal something fascinating about how our minds work. Psychologists explain the Mandela Effect as a result of memory's reconstructive nature. Unlike a video camera that records every detail, memory functions more like a puzzle. Each time we recall something, our brain pieces it together from fragments, often filling in gaps with assumptions or associations. Over time, these reconstructions can drift from reality. When many people share similar assumptions, perhaps due to cultural references or similar influences, they can end up sharing the same false memory. Take the example of Luke, "I am your father," even though the line was never spoken that way. Comedians, advertisements, and pop culture parodies often quoted it incorrectly. Hearing the misquote repeatedly reinforced it in people's minds until it felt real. Similarly, the spelling of Berenstain Bears with an A seems unusual in English, so many readers unconsciously assumed it was Berenstein, which felt more familiar. Memory blends with expectation, and expectation shapes memory. But for many, the Mandela Effect feels too powerful to dismiss as simple mistakes. Some interpret it as evidence of alternate realities or parallel universes. The idea is that our memories are accurate, but reality itself has shifted, leaving us with fragments of a world that once existed. This theory, though not supported by science, has gained popularity because it offers a dramatic explanation for the shared nature of these false memories. If thousands of people remember something the same way, perhaps it was true in another timeline. Others suggest more subtle influences. For example, the way information spreads through culture can magnify errors. A misquote in a popular TV show, a printing mistake, or even a shared misinterpretation can ripple outward, embedding itself in collective memory. In this sense, the Mandela Effect is less about faulty brains and more about the power of culture to shape what we think we know. The Mandela Effect also raises important questions about history and evidence. If our memories can be wrong about movie lines or logos, What about bigger events? There are cases where groups of people remember entire historical details differently. Some recall the number of US states being 51 or 52 instead of 50. Others believe New Zealand is in a different location on the map. While these may sound far-fetched, they highlight how geography and history, when filtered through casual learning, can easily blur in memory. Scientists emphasize that the Mandela Effect is a reminder of how memory and perception are not perfect. The brain is influenced by bias, suggestion, and repetition. Experiments in psychology have repeatedly shown that people can be led to remember events that never happened. In one famous study, participants were told they had been lost in a shopping mall as children. Over time, many began to believe and even embellish this false story, despite it never occurring. Our memories are more malleable than we like to admit. The Mandela Effect also thrives in the digital age. The internet allows people from around the world to compare experiences instantly. When someone posts, "Did anyone else remember it this way?" they may discover thousands of others with the same false memory. This validation makes the effect feel stronger, even though the similarity can often be explained by cultural exposure or shared influences. Social media has turned the Mandela Effect into a modern folklore where communities bond over the mystery of false memories. Of course, not everyone accepts psychological explanations. Some still point to the possibility of glitches in reality itself. The idea of a simulation theory, where we live in a computer-like simulation, is sometimes tied to the Mandela Effect. According to this view, memory discrepancies are errors in the system, like when a video game world has a rendering bug. While speculative, the idea captures people's imagination, blending science fiction with real human experiences of confusion and doubt. Whether explained by psychology or something more extraordinary, the Mandela Effect fascinates because it touches on something deeply personal. Our memories define us. They are the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we have experienced. To discover that memory can be so unreliable is unsettling. It forces us to question not only small details, but also larger truths about how we perceive the world. If you enjoy mysteries like this, consider subscribing for more fascinating stories that explore the strange and surprising corners of our reality. The Mandela Effect is not just about misremembered movie lines or mistaken logos. It is about how human beings build reality in their minds. It shows us that even when we are certain, we can be wrong. It reminds us to stay curious, humble, and open to questioning what we think we know, and whether you see it as psychology, culture, or a hint of something deeper. The Mandela Effect proves that our grip on reality is always more fragile than we believe. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, I'd love it if you could hit that link and subscribe. Seriously, it means a lot. Catch you later!